Welcome back to my YouTube channel, everybody. My name is CringeyJesse, and we are playing Formula 1 Manager 23 once again. Round 3 underway, on our way to Australia, and as promised, the underfloor is ready to be manufactured, which is what we are going to go do. And it'll be about 9 days for the first part to be ready, which unfortunately the race is in 10 days, so I'm only going to have one piece for the car, which means I'm going to put that on Kevin Magnussen's car, see how well he does, and Nico Hülkenberg will be stuck with the old piece. Speaking of Kevin Magnussen, he's going to come across the line now, hoping to get out of the dead zone, and he does. Here in Q1, he's going to go all the way up to P9. Nico Hülkenberg, he's about to come across the line himself. Not doing too well through the first two sectors, but hopefully with that pull from the Red Bull, he can get something. No, but he stays P10, and that will put both of my cars into Q2. Kevin Magnussen, he's going to come across the line, not do any better than P9. Nico Hülkenberg, hoping he does better. All green sectors. Does better, but does not improve his position at all. So that will be him out of Q2. And also Q3, I just completely forgot to record anything. So that's Kevin Magnussen in P9 right there. Lights out, away we go. P9, P13. Magnussen already jumping up to P8 there, but side by side with Russell, we're not going to put that as a thing as he drops all the way down to P10, and there goes Gasly. You saw that little boost he had there? He's going to take P8 and then P9 for Magnussen, which puts Russell back down there in P10. Hülkenberg staying in P12 at the moment, in between Albon and Ocon. As we look at Magnussen here, he looks to be side by side with an Alpine of Gasly, and he's just going to jump up right in front of there here at the end of lap number 1. Looking forward to Lewis Hamilton, who is in front of him in P7. Skipping up to lap number 5, you saw that little debris there. There's one Aston Martin out. There's two Aston Martins out. Safety car is deployed, which is definitely going to help us out here, so we're going to go ahead and harvest and conserve on everything as we take a look at that. It's a Lance Stroll there going up the inside of Alonso, and then just takes both of them out of the race there. Very unfortunate for the Aston Martins, but very fortunate for my guys. That actually takes out Alonso completely. Everybody in the front there, this is the only time really I'll show when I sim ahead, because I was not ready for that to happen. Everybody in the front decided to box for new tires, which is going to put Kevin Magnussen at the front of the pack to start the safety car restart. And here it is. Coming across the line, we have a Haas in first place for the first time ever. But let's be real, we all know this isn't going to last. I would just like to see how long it does last. Magnussen, P1. Now we have Nico Hülkenberg fighting Pierre Gasly for P3. Can he get it done? He does. Now all we have to do is get him in front of George Russell. And because we know for a fact that it's not going to happen, I think what I'm going to do is once I get in front of George Russell, if I get in front of George Russell, I'm going to just have my man Nico Hülkenberg defend until, just to see how far ahead Magnussen can get. And down here, turn 1, lap number 15, and that's exactly what Nico Hülkenberg does. Still has DRS, so he's going to use that to continue to get in front of George Russell. And he's in front of George Russell here on lap number 15. We're P1, P2 for the Hasbros for the first time since I've taken over. But only like the very next lap ever. Doing a little bit of defending. It's going to be Max Verstappen and George Russell making their way through and by Nico Hülkenberg. But Kevin Magnussen, if you look up there, he's almost so very close to 4 seconds ahead. But all the way down here in lap number 21, it is Carlos Sainz now catching up to Nico Hülkenberg, and he's going to make that move to get ahead of Nico Hülkenberg. Perez right there behind him. He's just going to take that advantaged open spot right there, and Nico Hülkenberg jumps 2 more positions once again. Max Verstappen up there at the top there. He's like 2/10 behind Magnussen. So it took a little bit. There was an incident. Not exactly sure what happened, but it brought out the VSC. And because the virtual safety car is out, I'm going to go ahead and box. That way, we can't say that we were overtaken by Max Verstappen because we went into the box and just gave it to him. Both of my drivers in for the new tires. They're going to be on the hards. That was their last stop. We're going to see how well this works out for us. Magnussen P10, Nico Hulkenberg P11. Lap 25, we have Pierre Gasly. He's going into the pit lane. Can we get in front of him? Magnussen does. Hulkenberg does. That is going to be a P9, P10 for the Hasbros. Both in points once again. We love the double point spots that we can grab. Albon in between Hulkenberg and Magnussen here, as it is Hulkenberg trying to get his spot in P9. It was Magnussen who passed him earlier, but I completely missed it, and now it's Hulkenberg. We're going to watch that one. He's definitely going to get that spot. P8, P9 as Esteban Ocon goes into the pit lane here on lap number 36, moving Magnussen up, and it's going to move Hulkenberg up as well. So now P7, P8 for the Hasbros. The more they move up, the more points that we can get. Lap number 38, we have Charles Leclerc, Sergio Perez, and Max Verstappen all in the pit lane. Magnussen's going to get in front of Leclerc and Perez. Not so much Max Verstappen. Hulkenberg is going to get in front of Leclerc, but not so much Perez. So now it's P5, P7 on lap 38, about 20 more laps to go. And if Magnussen can stay here with Max Verstappen, which obviously he cannot here, we have, who is that, Sainz and Russell in the pit lanes. That's going to be Magnussen P3. Can Hulkenberg get any of them? He does. He gets Russell and then Sainz. So P3, P5 for the Hasbros here on lap 40. About 18 more laps to go in this race. P3, P5, all we got to do is hold back Perez for that podium spot, but unfortunately, a little bit later on down in lap 40, it is Perez who's going to take that inside braking zone and just shove his way up into the podium spot. So P4, P5, if we can hold it off. Leclerc getting in front of Hulkenberg as almost the same time, so never mind on what I just said. P4, P6 now on lap 40, about to be lap 41 as the leaders cross over the line. If we can hold off Carlos Sainz, he's about 3 seconds behind. It's possible, it's doable, but there's only time will tell for Nico Hulkenberg. But here we see Kevin Magnussen. He is caught up to Lewis Hamilton, hoping for him as he goes around the outside there. He does. He takes P3 back on the podium for now here on lap number 42. Now all we have to do is hope Leclerc doesn't get there as Hamilton ends up boxing on lap number 46. But it's Leclerc right there looking to take the inside down at turn number 1 here for the last podium spot, and away from Kevin Magnussen does he take that spot. Hulkenberg 2 seconds behind Carlos Sainz in P6. So as of right now, it is a P4, P6 finish if things stand the way they do for the Hasbros. But on 10 laps to go, the safety car is deployed. Not 100% sure why. And also my editing was not the greatest. But what I did here was I went ahead and put both of my drivers in for brand new softs. So at the restart of the safety car, as we all come across the line, you can see Magnussen P7 and Hulkenberg P9. With just a couple more laps to go, we have the freshest set of tires out there, and we're going to push as hard as we can. Way too much gas in our car. There goes Kevin Magnussen right over Ocon there. So now he is in front of both Alpines. Nico Hulkenberg P9 there as he looks to try to catch up to Pierre Gasly and Ocon himself. On lap 55, here comes Kevin Magnussen right up the inside there on George Russell. Up into P5, now it's a P5, P8 spots for the Hasbros, as it is Hulkenberg who did finally get in front of Gasly, and now he's looking to get in front of Hulkenberg. Lap 55, 3 laps to go, so that's actually lap 56, my bad. 3 laps to go, it's Magnussen up the inside looking to get ahead of Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari. Down into turn 1, side by side, still to go, but it's going to be Magnussen with the DRS. Not so much Charles Leclerc. Actually, no, he does not have DRS. I figured he would because he had it to begin with, but still side by side. Oh, Magnussen, if you can pull this off, this would be fantastic for not only yourself and our fans back at home, but for the team, as it looks like he is finally shutting that door on P4 with 3 laps to go here. Lap 57, we are looking at Nico Hulkenberg finally getting around Esteban Ocon. Is still side by side, but he's going to shut that door a lot quicker than Magnussen did on Charles Leclerc. Looking back up to Magnussen, he is about a second and a half, but we're going to skip ahead to the final lap where Magnussen also takes the fastest lap of the race, 2/10 here behind Carlos Sainz in the DRS zones. Looking back at Hulkenberg, he's about half a second behind George Russell. But going back to the main event here, 1/10, 2/10, almost 3/10 there. He is right there behind. He is sniffing the tailpipe of Carlos Sainz in that podium spot. With 37% left on his ERS, he's going to use and push as hard as he can through the rest of this lap as we're coming up into the Section 2 DRS zones. And low wing is going to flip open. There it is. He's going to look. And Sainz is going to block him off as we go into this weird chicane looking thing. I don't know if that's a chicane or not. Please correct me if it isn't. He's going to pull out to the outside. And it's going to be Sainz who's going to try to defend it. So now up the inside goes Kevin Magnussen. His name is going to be P3 for now. But now it's going to be Sainz as they are side by side coming into the last 1, 2, 3 turns it is. The last 2 turns still side by side. Here it comes around the last turn. Magnussen has the lead, but Carlos Sainz has the DRS as he pulls out. It's going to be a side-by-side finish. Magnussen will get P3, and it's going to be Carlos Sainz in P4. Hulkenberg coming in, finishing P6 ahead of George Russell, but getting that podium spot was just a little bit more exciting to watch, so that's the one that we got to see, as it is a podium finish for Haas.
You have to say, Kevin Magnussen really didn't put a foot wrong today.
That was an excellent performance. They set out with a great strategy, and it paid off with an impressive podium finish.
That makes it all worth it, doesn't it? Seeing your team ready to share the celebrations. Kevin Magnussen had a really impressive race today, withstanding the pressure to finish on the podium.
That's going to make them very happy, taking home their first trophy this year.
Well, it wasn't exactly a walk in the park, but it was a thrilling weekend here for us all at the Australian Grand Prix.
And that is your Australian Grand Prix with an exciting finish for Haas, both moving well up into the points. Max Verstappen, Sergio Perez, and Kevin Magnussen on the podium, the first podium for the Haas team. A little shocked it happened so early, but I'm glad it did. Carlos Sainz in 4th, 5th is Charles Leclerc, and P6 is Nico Hulkenberg. George Russell, Esteban Ocon, Lewis Hamilton, and in P10 is Pierre Gasly. Moving on to the driver's standings, Max Verstappen still in first with 76. Sergio Perez moving up to P2 with 48 points. Charles Leclerc moving down to P3. Carlos Sainz stays in P4. Kevin Magnussen jumps up 2 spots to P5. Fernando Alonso moving down a spot to P6. Lance Stroll also moving down to P7. George Russell moving up 1 to P8. Nico Hulkenberg moving up to P9. And Lewis Hamilton dropping 2 spots down to P10. But we can't forget about Pierre Gasly, the last point holder, sitting down there in P12. Now, looking at the constructors, Red Bull still leading it all. Ferrari in 2nd place, Aston Martin in 3rd place, and would you look at that, Haas has jumped over Mercedes to take P4 for now in the constructor standings. Mercedes dropping down to P5, Alpine in P6, Williams in oh, well, they ain't got no points, so they don't matter. They're already in last place. Alpine P6 with the last constructor holding on to points at the moment. But with Haas in P4, a lot can happen this season. A very good start to this season. I've had my first season did not start off that well. The second season, it did start off, but we didn't really get to see a lot of that one because I was trying to do another way of recording, which is what I'm doing now. I'm recording, shortening it to like well under 40 minutes because we did not want to watch 48-minute videos, I promise. And then this time, I guess with everything that I've learned, I'm doing a lot better than normal. We like to see that. Hopefully I can hold on to it. Usually around the end of the season is when other cars, they do upgrades and stuff, and I just don't know what to do there. But beginning of the season, I love it. Azerbaijan, Baku is coming up next. We are going to have an underfloor for both Kevin Magnussen and Nico Hulkenberg, and a new front wing for both of these cars. So I'm really hoping the underfloor on both cars and the front wing on both cars will definitely help out both of them for this next one, and we can stay in that double point system. I would love that. I wouldn't expect any more podiums. A lot of that was luck. We had 2 safety cars and a virtual safety car that definitely helped us out. But yeah, you know, hopefully, who knows, things can happen. Anyway, if you like the video, please hit that like button. If you can't wait to see more, please hit that subscribe button. Hitting those buttons just boost my confidence, and I'm honestly having a lot of fun making these videos, and I just need to keep on it. That's all I really need to do. I just need to keep on it. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day or night or whatever time it is, and I will see you next time.